Hey, this is Wolf from Armory Terrain, and today I'm going to be attempting the LARP Makers Challenge Egg Challenge. Now, this challenge was anything to do with eggs, as long as I had something to do with LARP as well. So what I'm intending to build is a nest of the relatively common firebird. Now, the firebird, while common, is completely inedible due to its almost exclusive diet of super hot chilies. The eggs of the firebird, the yolks are known to be incredibly acidic, and the shells can be used in a potion to prevent sunburn and damage from flames. So for an adventuring quest, I think they need to go and find this nest to get some eggs to protect them against fireballs before a big battle. So speaking of eggs, I went down to my local cheap shop and bought a packet of 8 polystyrene eggs. Cost me about $4, I think. Now, polystyrene eggs are pretty boring just on their own, and I dropped that one in the paint. So what I've done is I made a simple jig out of foam and EVA rubber, that is, stuck some skewers in and started coating the eggs. The 4 that I'm using, I put some paint on first because polystyrene is white and PVA glue is white, so you can't see what you're doing. So I gave them a coat of maroon, which I had left over from another project, and now they're getting coats of PVA glue. This will do 2 things. It'll smooth the surface of the egg, and it'll also make it slightly harder. So 2 coats down, 3 or 4 to go. As for where the nest is going, I bought years and years ago, I bought this MDF shape from my local hardware shop. At the time it cost me 99 cents, so now like $3. Shows how long ago it was. And to it I've glued some grass matting with a hole left for a small shrub to go into it. So my plan is that by using these puzzle pieces from the floor foam mats, I'm going to build a small dead shrub with at least 2 or 3 branches and have the nest in it at about this height. So it definitely can't be confused game day with a real bird's nest, because we don't want players stealing bird eggs. That's all sorts of bad. Well, the build's going really well. I actually had to remind myself to stop and take some footage. So the eggs are starting to get shiny. They've now had 3 coats of PVA glue and probably another 2 or 3 coats, and they'll be nice and hard and ready to go. The bird's nest, well, I've come to this stage. So I grabbed all the bits of puzzle foam and glued them together, then taped them heavily with the pink electrical tape. Why pink? Why not? I like pink. Pink's good. It was on sale. So taped all the foam together into shape, and now I'm putting tissue paper on to give it a nice bark texture. Let's get it in the camera. A nice bark texture, as well as providing a little bit of hardness to the outside of it. And to fix it to the base, I used hot glue and also 2 really big nails, because I was worried the hot glue might just tear off. So this is where we're at. Here we are with the update on the egg building challenge, and so far I'm quite happy with the way my small dead shrub has turned out. All it really needs now is some painting, and I'm guessing a greyish brown colour might be the right colour for it. The eggs have got a nice smooth surface from the 6 or 7 layers of PVA glue that I've painted on, and they no longer look or feel like polystyrene. And now for the nest. Of course, I dropped what I need. Now this roll of, say, the split cane or sisal, or raffeta maybe, I'm pretty sure this came with me when I moved here, so I've had it for more than 10 years. I think my ex and I bought it to either make hats or baskets out of a long time ago. So instead, I'm going to make a bird nest. I'll rearrange the camera and show you how I do it. So making the bird nest. We have glued with a hot glue gun a number of rings in a circular shape, and then glued 4 pieces in a star shape into the center. Then it's just a matter of feeding the rings on with alternating uprights, which is all sorts of fun. Now, I did all the hot gluing off camera because as much as I know you guys enjoy seeing me burn myself, I'm getting a bit tired of having to edit out all the cursing from the videos to keep them family friendly. So as you can see, as I'm slowly forming these together, it's starting to look a little bit more like a nest, maybe. So alternate in and out. And now that I have it to this stage, where I think the nest is just about big enough to hold the 4 eggs I want it to hold, I can either trim these off or fold them over and weave them back in, which would be a much better thing to do, and then start weaving all the other pieces in and out of the sides. So I'm going to do that and get back to you when it's done. After a lot of weaving, my nest now looks like this. And yes, I'm aware that it is very non-symmetrical, but that's fine, because with the tree that I've made, it's going to sit in, where are we? Here we are. It's going to sit in between these 2 branches like this, so if it was symmetrical, it would not fit. Now you could keep weaving and weaving and weaving for the next 3 or 4 hours until it was a nice solid thing, but let's face it, none of the players are ever going to really notice. So at this stage now, I've raided my felt bin and gotten all my little bits and pieces of scrap. I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces and glue them to the inside of the nest, and then add a couple of feathers, and then maybe glue a little bit more to the outside. And then the nest will be finished. Well, it's that time to show you the finished product. The eggs ended up being painted red with orange mottling on them, and now the last thing to do is put them in the nest. So carefully pulling them off the skewers where they've been painted in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So my nest is complete in the little dead shrub, and on the base I've added a little bit of detail, including 2 mushrooms, because obviously I am obsessed with mushrooms. Okay, now to give it one more overview, and I'm going to call this project done. So here we have a sunbird nest. As you can see, they're not very good nest builders, and they build them awfully close to the ground. But then nothing eats a sunbird unless it wants to die of monster indigestion, so I guess they do what they have to do. So this is Wolf from Armoury Train saying that this is my egg project. Now go out and build something.